online.
Okay, we're getting to call this meeting to order. It is now 7 o'clock. If everyone would please stand, face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now take a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Thank everyone for coming out. We have a lot to take care of tonight, our business. Is there anyone recording? No, Val's not here. Please turn your, Peter, okay. Please put your phones on mute or turn them off. Okay, the minutes for the Wednesday, July 17th meeting. Okay, are there any corrections to the minutes of July 17th? Okay, I'm accepting them as is. Can I have a vote? Richard?
For the minutes?
Yes. Catherine? Linda? Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, can you hear now? Oh, okay. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, we have a lot in this packet. Okay. Okay, we have received a letter to the Brookridge BOD Directors. Ready, Richard? Can you on that one? Okay. For the past 16 plus months, the Traffic Safety Committee has been researching the feasibility of building another permanent, quote, residence-only entry/exit gate. While this pursuit was caused as a result of the ongoing commercial development on Cortez in front of Brookridge, it is clear that due to Brookridge's growth for the last 50 years, that a second gate has been long overdue. With the encouragement of previous directors on the board, our members have sought to identify the process necessary to proceed with making a second gate a reality. This effort has included communications in writing and in person with Hernando County officials, as well as independent contractors. Unfortunately, due to the recent changes to the board, the committee feels it is necessary to obtain reaffirmation from the current board for the following. Number one, our committee receives confirmation from this board that we have their backing to continue to pursue our current course of action. In lieu of, you support the idea of installing another permanent gate. Number two, our committee will receive the financial backing of the board to see this through to fruition. To this end, we are requesting that once we have reached the point in our due diligence and obtain a final cost for this project, that the board will provide the necessary financing. We suggest that this project would be a perfect opportunity to utilize some of the funds obtained from the Spectrum contract. Keep in mind that Brookridge will receive approximately $35,000 from the developer, which will help offset the final cost to Brookridge of this project. Time is of the essence. As we have all noticed, construction of the new development has begun in earnest. Thus, our window to construct and have in operation another gate before the development opens next fall closes a bit every day. Lastly, previous board members advised our committee that the board of directors has the authority to approve the installation of another gate without needing community approval. We strongly urge you to so authorize without delay. Steve Smecko, Co-Chairman, Community Development Committee. Okay, I believe Mary Story put her comment form in. Thank you, Mary.
Mary Story, Unit 6. The letter from the Community Development Committee states that updates were provided to their board contacts. Have any of these current board members sitting on this board have been provided with any communications or data discussed in this letter? Yes or no, please?
No.
I have heard about them talking to Hernando County for a
Have
new
you
master plan, but I have not received any paperwork, if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking. Have you seen any paperwork whatsoever, Catherine?
I've been part of the traffic committee, and I submitted some paperwork that they submitted to me, which I believe would have been a part of this. And we also discussed the master plan and the fact that they were at the Hernando County meeting. And in fact, the development committee was there. And I know that they came back with some information, and that information was shared with the board. So where
Shared
that
with who on the board? I've got board members saying no.
Well, I'm being told that for some reason the mail that goes in the slots is not making it to the slots. I'm not sure how.
Okay,
I'm not sure where it's going.
all right.
But I have submitted all of the paperwork. The
Well,
only piece of paperwork I have left from the traffic committee was the last meeting that I attended. And we had discussed them coming to the board meeting tonight. So I'm not sure if there was any paperwork at that meeting, not that I'm aware of.
okay.
May
They future state, what?
I ask you a question, please?
Sure.
Okay. One thing is, it says will receive approximately 35,000.
Rich, can I get on with mine and then I'll answer your questions afterwards, because if my beeper goes off, I can't finish my statement.
Well, okay, I can ask them to stop your beeper. Can you please stop her beeper?
Okay,
Please? And I'll give you back your time.
that's
You
okay.
can reclaim your time.
Thank you. Can I reclaim it from the beginning? Go ahead.
All right. Okay, it says will receive approximately 35,000 from developer, which will help offset. So we have not received a dime from the developer.
No, I know that.
And is that 35,000 only contingent upon an access gate to that new development?
Rich, I can't answer that. I'm not on that committee. Okay. They further stated that their contracts were with previous directors on the board who are no longer served. In reading this letter, it is my understanding they are asking the current board to give them the green light to proceed with the second entry gate in the rear of the community. If in fact only several board members who no longer serve on this board gave them an okay to proceed by agreeing to financially back them from start to finish, this was given by directors who had no authority to okay such a project. And those, all right, and those directors breached their fiduciary responsibility to us, the residents. They are now asking this current board to reassure them that they will back them fully financially in proceeding with this project. The development committee is just an advisory committee. The former president gave them permission to do research on the possibility of a second gate in the rear of the community and bring the information back to the entire board. However, they have failed to present anything at a board meeting, their findings, what communications between them and Hernando County, something in writing that says Kevin, the developer, is willing to still give us $35 for a rear entry gate when he originally agreed to using $35,000, agreed to using that money for a golf cart roadway into his development. The type of gates that are being considered, manned, key fob, code entry. And our purchasing policy requires a project of this size needs 3 bids. This project needed to be budgeted for, and the finance committee was not made aware of the possible happenings in the upcoming year to budget for it. Has this committee made any commitments to any vendors or county? Would be nice to know. Without any of this information, this committee appears to be pressuring the current board into agreeing to financially back this project because of commitments made by previous board members who were not authorized to do so, and the letter appears to insult the current board's intelligence by expecting them to approve something without the necessary documentation to review and vote on based on hearsay. I'm asking this board to put this project on the back burner till all the necessary data and figures and bids are presented appropriately to the board, not just a few, and all the residents at a BOD meeting. At this time, we can't even get the front gates to operate correctly. Let's get that done first, then move on. Also, I would hope that this board would have either a town hall meeting on this or actually place it on a ballot for the residents to vote on before they make their decision. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, thank you, Gary. I was on the original board, well, last year, the year before, and when the developer did come and gave his, everything that what was gonna go on out there, the amount that I heard from him was $30,000, not 35. And that 30,000 was supposed to be earmarked for golf cart access to the shopping center outside. Had nothing to do with gates or anything else. It had to do with the front part of our development for access for our golf carts to go through when that shopping center was finally up and running. 30,000, not 35.
I got a question on YouTube, Millie.
This is from David Henry. Who has the experience in Brookridge to manage a project like this, and who has transportation study been completed to help qualify an appropriate design to get an accurate quote? David Henry, Unit 4.
Okay, none of us have that experience here. Something like that would have to be put out to engineers or surveyors or something. We as the board none of us have that experience. We're not engineers and we're not contractors. We're not in construction.
Steve Smith, go Unit 2. I want to clarify a few misunderstandings that obviously some people have about this.
Hold the mic up, can't hear you. Hold it up to your mouth.
All right,
Thank you.
we were asked by previous board members, Debbie specifically and Jim, okay, to pursue obtaining, what it ultimately comes down to is what's going to be all involved if we want to install another gate to this community. Okay, in other words, bottom line is find out the entire process, including to that degree possible, an estimated cost. Okay, we put a lot of work into this. Okay, the purpose of this letter, and by the way, it's not to extort an answer from you, as it's been alluded to, but we've gone through a lot of work, right? We're not going to sit here and spin our wheels if people aren't serious about investigating putting another gate in. That's really the main purpose of this request, okay? Because both Debbie and Jim are no longer here, okay? So do we continue forward with this? We received information which we provided to Catherine with the latest information from the county as to what we need to provide them next with, okay? And they're absolutely right. I'm not an engineer, okay? But I personally made contact with an engineering firm that would do a traffic study at the proposed site of this gate, okay? I have an approximate cost for that. But beyond that, we don't go anywhere until we submit a new master plan to Hernando County to install these gates. That's where this has been left off for the last 2 months, because that's something that has to come from the approval of one of the board members. The county requires that we provide another master plan, and it's being requested by a board member of BOD, okay? So, we're not doing anything at this point in time. We're on hold, okay? Now, whether anybody agrees with this or not, in my opinion, when that development goes in, right, all hell's gonna break loose with this community if we don't have another gate. But you know what? Hey, you guys can sit there and say, no, don't do this. That's fine. We want it to be on record that this is what we're proposing. We want to go forward and get this information, okay? But at the same time, yes, do we want some kind of commitment? Yes, we do, because I don't want to go through all of this just to be told, guess what? We don't have the money. We're not going to do it. Because then I'm not going to waste my time, quite honestly. And the rest of the community feels the same way. So that's, in essence, what we're doing here. Now, we suggested, as far as the money goes from the spectrum, only because, Jesus, I don't know, as far as I knew, we were asked a couple months ago, hey, maybe the community should suggest how we spend that money. Well, okay, I think this is a perfect example of how we should spend that money. Okay, but I'm not privy to the plans of the Finance Committee, okay? So all we're saying is that we're not insisting that, but what we are saying is, hey, look, if we're serious about this, and if you guys are serious about this, then when the time comes and we've got all our ducks in a row, we have all that information, we're ready to go, then hey, we're not going to be said, it's just going to say, well, we don't have the money, because I'm not interested in wasting my time. So,
Okay, I know that y'all talked to Jim on several occasions. In talking to the CPA and talking to the auditor, I found out a lot of things about the spectrum money that Jim wasn't aware of. It's a 10-year contract. It has to be divided out over 10 years. Talking to the auditor last week, the CPA led me to believe that the 30% tax liability would be also over 10 years. No, our 30% tax liability comes out in 2024. That's when we receive the money. So you're talking $300,000. And then you take the commission that has to come out the first year. So that leaves us $64,000 a year out of the spectrum money. After finding all this out, I see why previous boards did not do anything with the spectrum contracts. They could have done the same thing that Jim and Debbie did, getting this contract and getting the money. But other boards just let it slide, didn't do anything. Because there's more headaches to it than what we benefit from. So everybody thought we was gonna have $990,800 to just spend all at one time. No, it doesn't work that way. So as much as I would love to see a back gate because I live in the back, I don't know where the money would come from, Steve. I honestly don't.
Again, we suggested the spectrum. It doesn't have to be that, okay?
But we don't have the other funds.
All right, but keep in mind, at this point in time, we're nowhere near, shovels in the earth kind of thing, okay? We're not. In fact, quite honestly, if I were a betting man, I'd say that if we'd be lucky, if a year from now, we'd be actually ready to actually do something.
Right.
Okay?
And
So we're not.
And you would
talking-
have to propose and give the finance committee figures on what it's gonna cost. And that would have to be built in to the budget. And that's gonna make the HOAs go zoom. So it's a catch-22. Like I said, I live in the back and would love it, but I just don't see where the money would come from unless you do some research and can find some grants or something.
Well, I have a hard time believing anybody's gonna give us a grant for a community that has a couple $1 million in reserves. Yeah, so that's.
But that reserve money is earmarked. It can't be just used for
Understood,
anything.
Understood, but why, again, I guess that's my personal opinion. Again, so then ultimately, what we're looking for now, well, I guess they're actually combined. Quite honestly, I guess the two points that I wrote here are combined, right? Because if we're not committed to either budgeting in money to finance it when it's ready to go, right? Then to me, there's no sense in pursuing it.
Right, because they just finished the budget for 25. So you would have to wait a whole year to get it to the finance committee to be budgeted for 2026. And you don't know that it would be approved because the homeowners would have to approve it.
We don't know that. That's part of what we were trying to get. Which will not be. Yeah, we don't know, right? So that's really the point. The only thing that we've gotten up to this point is a verbal quote for a traffic study, and that's about between $3,500 and $5,000. But I know that that's an essential part of this because the county's already told us that. We would have to do that. But beyond that, with the cost of gates and all that, I have no clue. Okay.
Your 3 minutes are up, Steve.
Listen, I appreciate, believe me, what the Traffic Safety and the Development Committee has done over these past several months. Unfortunately, I haven't received or seen any kind of paperwork from your committee, which I would have loved to review.
It's there.
The only thing I got was this that Tracy typed up.
Yeah, that's the only thing we got.
Because
Catherine gave that to me last meeting, and then I made photocopies, and then I put them in your box. Correct. And then Catherine.
so, again,
I have
so-
extras if you need them.
Again, not to put you on the spot, but that's our whole point. And, either we're on board or we're not. And it's a yes or no, I understand. But then that will dictate what we are going to do or not going to do from this point forward.
Yep.
Okay, we have another letter. This one is from Patty Cummings of the Brookridge Community. The Brookridge Social Dance Committee is requesting a special dance to be held at the clubhouse on Saturday, November 16th, 2024, featuring the Beach Boys, and it's BOUYS. And, okay, dance to be held from 7 to 10. We will need to decorate the main hall of the clubhouse the morning of November 16th. Also take down all the decorations the morning of November 17th, Sunday from 10 until 11. Dance will be open to the public and all residents of Brookridge. Patty Cummings, Brookridge Committee. Okay, I make a motion to allow the Brookridge Social Dance Committee to hold a dance at the clubhouse on Saturday, November 16th, 2024, from 7 to 10. Decorate the main hall of the clubhouse in the morning of November 16th, and take down the decorations the morning of November 17th, from 10 until 11. This dance will be open to the residents of Brookridge and the public. If an extra monitor is needed, this has been approved by Facilities Manager Vince Pizzo.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, guys. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is dated August 15, 2024, BCPO Board of Directors. There was to be a craft sale in the clubhouse on Saturday, November 16th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The person who was to organize it has canceled. There are several residents who are looking forward to this. I would like to take this project on and make it an annual event. I am asking to change the date to Saturday, November 30th, 2024, 9 to 1. I still would like to invite outside vendors as well as Brookridge residents to participate. I also will offer a hot dog lunch. All proceeds going to BCPO Clubhouse wish list. Thank you, Patrona Derman. I make a motion to allow Patrona Derman to take over as the chair for the craft sale. She will be selling the tables from her office at the clubhouse. I make a motion to change the date of the craft fair from November.
You gotta do one at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I just wanted to get going on. Okay, make a motion to allow Patrona to take over as chair for the craft sale.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Second, I make a motion to change the date of the craft fair from November 16th, 2024 to November 30th, 2024, from 9 to 1, inviting outside vendors as well as Brookridge residents to participate. All proceeds will be going to BCPO Clubhouse wish list. Have a motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote carried. Thank you. Continuing on. This is good because we'll get out of here probably in about 10 minutes if we keep going like this. Okay, next one here. Topic is,
No. But you gotta do your president's report, and I gotta do the treasurer's report.
okay, well, it's been a very interesting couple of months. We do have a lot of things that are going on that we need to take care of. I know one of the biggest obstacles that we have now is the gates and the gates and the gates. There have been proposals turned into us on different ways of the gates that can be prepared. But right now we're at a standstill because we've got a couple of proposals, but until we find out exactly what is going to go on in the front. I know it's a pain in the neck, the gates are up, the gates are down, but we do know that from what I was told, in the ground itself, there's what's called a looping process. And this is apparently what is affecting those outgoing gates. So we're working so hard on that to try and find a solution before we start putting in a lot of money. And I know Linda has been working on it, and along with Peter from Code Enforcement. We're trying, I know you don't want to hear this, all the time, the gates, but until we can figure out what exactly we're going to be doing, there's nothing that we can do at this time. Unfortunately, I don't like to see it either, but I just want to say from my, can you do it in shorthand? No. Okay. I know we're going to get questions on members for the board. We did have applications for 4 or 5 people. And Richard through Zoom, he interviewed them or spoke to them. Catherine, I, and Linda also interviewed the people. Right now, we haven't come to a consensus on those that we want to put on the board. They're good, they're very good candidates, have a lot of knowledge, been around a long time. I have no problem with any of them. But the thing is, when you come to a standstill, 2 and 2, it's kind of hard to make a decision right now on these board people. Arlene?
Okay, let me think.
Go ahead. I don't have my resumes in front of me.
David Henry, he was one. Kelly Brock, she was one. Help me out here, guys. Roberta Fodor, thank you.
Jane,
And Jane.
Jane
Randall.
Randall, and Phil, but he took his back, right? Phil Menard had put one in, but he rescinded it. So that was 1, 4, right? So David Henry, if you guys are writing this down or on YouTube. So David Henry, Roberta Brodeur, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing her name. Again, when I'm.
Kelly Brock,
Kelly Brock, I'm sorry, she's right in front of me.
Right.
And
and Jane
and Jane
Randall.
Randall,
Right.
okay. So everybody got that? The 4 people? And Phil, but Phil rescinded it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What's gonna happen now,
Am I allowed to speak on this?
why can't you?
I just want to make sure.
No, go ahead, because I was gonna say something, but go ahead.
Well, like our president said, they interviewed the candidates here in Brookridge. I was in Illinois and I interviewed all of them by telephone. And I spent quite a bit of time. And I saw the resumes of each and every one of them. And I talked to the people. I saw their applications also and what they could bring to the board. And one person stood out way higher among the rest. But a couple of my fellow board members had bad vibes about that person. I don't know what bad vibes means exactly, but if a person is super highly qualified, you would think we would encourage and want to have that type of individual to help us. But evidently, a couple of my fellow board members did not, okay? So that's disappointing to me. It's very disappointing to me. I wish all of the members could see all of these applicants' resumes and applications and make a judgment yourselves. That's all I have to say.
you're gonna keep it for me, board.
How many vacations do you need to fill?
Right now, we're gonna keep it as a premier board. Because remember, come October, November, anyone that wants to run for the board at that time can put their resumes in. And these people, these applicants that have put their resumes in will stay as long as they want to stay in for the race. Not saying that they have to get up, we don't want them to get out. But we only have 2 more months and we're gonna be taking resumes and applications again. And there may be other people that want to put their application in on the board. Hey, listen, it's open to everybody. It's open to everybody. It's kind of hard when you have people from all different walks of life, different backgrounds, different experiences, and people that, this is the way I feel. No matter where you come from, no matter what you've done in your jobs in the past, no matter your experience or non-experience, if you take the time to fill out an application or a resume, which means you are interested in being on the board for your committee. And it doesn't matter where you're from or what you did before. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's input up here is just as valuable as the next one. No one is any better than anybody else. We're all from different walks of life, and our experience, no matter what it is, plays a big part here on the board. No one is better than anyone else. And I, for one, because our previous president, she resigned or whatever the situation was, and then of course, I'm in this position. Yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for this whole board, everybody has to work together. If you can't work together, you don't have a team. You do not have a team. And being president, to me, personally, it's a title. I'm still a board member up here, okay? Your job duties and requirements are a little bit different, but you know what? We're all up here to do the same thing. We're here to represent every homeowner in this community. What I do for you, I do for me, and there is no difference. If you can't be honest with people, if I can't get the information that is needed when things are going on, also, and I'm going to put this out there because you get a little tired of the nonsense. You have your little groups. No matter where you live, you have your little cliques and you have your little groups. No one is better than anybody else here. You came down here to retire, your whatever years the man upstairs is going to give to enjoy your life, not to nitpick. Go behind people's back, yada, 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 yada. What do you get by it? You're only enemies, and it does not make good for a good community when everybody has these groups talking about each other. If you have something to say to me, especially me, come in front of me, tell me what's on your mind, and let's be done with it. I don't need to hear this from groups or get phone calls at my house. Well, this one said that and that one said it. Come to my face. Come in front of me. What you're telling that person, tell me. And this way I can address you face to face, not behind a video or something like that. That's how I feel, Director. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna chirp in here because Millie, I agree with everything that Millie just said, other than the fact that in order to be able to have a functioning board, she has to be able to communicate with her board members. And I, for one, feel like I have been left out of the communication process. But I'm hearing her say, come to her. I've come to her. I've emailed, I've done all of these things. I'm not sure what else I could do. And this is not a free-for-all between her and I. We can talk about it any time. But I just want you guys as residents to know that I am a board member. I feel like we should put other board members on here to all be able to work together in a uniform manner for all of you guys. And that's all I have.
Can I call for a point of order? Please. Yes. Can we move on from this subject because we have a very long agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Turning into a.
Yes, no, this is it.
I'm gonna make my treasurer's report real.
Thank you.
Already went over the spectrum money a while ago. And there's all of our bank accounts. Anybody can come up and look at the amounts that we have in our checking accounts, money markets, CDs, the interest we've earned so far this year. Takes a lot of work to put all that together and follow Jim's trail.
Come on.
You can get up there. It will also be put on our website tomorrow.
Excuse me.
You think you could do any better?
Let's get me on the website.
It'll be on the website. You can come up and look at it anytime during the meeting or after the meeting. I'm not gonna stand here tonight and read all these numbers up because we've got a lot to go over. I do have 2 bids that Peter gave me to have some work done at the gatehouse. One is from Hernando Aluminum. Is to remove 9 foot of damaged gutter and install 9 foot of new white seamless gutter with a downspout for $485. These are just to make you aware, we don't have to vote on them because they're under the amount. He's got Day Metal Products, bid of $1,155.53 to fabricate and install 84-inch by 44-inch high 2-bar guardrail to make it more secure for our gate attendants. And let's move on.
No.
All right, Peter from Code Enforcement, I'm sorry. Peter's been wanting to come up. Peter, and then you're next, because I should have had Peter up first, but go ahead. Thank you, Peter.
Millie, I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson could go under member comments.
Check. Can you hear me? Okay, so what I'm gonna be saying is basically responses to a lot of people who have questions on social media and who also come to the administration office with questions. So we're gonna try to eliminate all those questions on a constant basis. In regards to why we are no longer currently recognized as code enforcement and rather than security. To be clear, there's no difference as to what we are recognized as. We are providing this community with the same services, whether we be titled security or code enforcement. Under Florida law, we were advised that even though we are a private community, it would be best not to use the word security, for the reasons that everyone must be a licensed Class D security guard, which was not something that apparently was ever implemented. Using the title of code enforcement did not require any licenses and was justifiably correct for the main job description. So therefore, the entire department fell under the heading of code enforcement. With that being said, Brookridge employees at most have a responsibility to protect this community. Some may call it responsibility, some call it an obligation. Bottom line, it is the job of code enforcement to adhere to the effectiveness of various measures in securing safety to all residents of this community. Code enforcement job duties, first and foremost, they must have a knowledge of BCPO guidelines. Their obligations to the residents is they must oversee architectural projects in its entirety, preparing them for ACC approval. They must have visual violations within a community of close to 3,000 homes and take photos of such violations, write these violations up and send them out on a monitored progress within a 14-day frame. They must send out fines that have not met compliance. They must continue to monitor these fines and execute suspensions when necessary. Answering complaints from residents, whether by phone or in person, is imperative, which take place at the administration building. They assist new residents with new home buildings, setup and delivery, and much more. Much of this is on a daily basis, and such topics as installing a new home may be sporadic. The gate attendants and drivers are responsible for assuring gate control access, perimeter fencing checks, patrolling the community periodically through a 24-hour period. They must have knowledge of the BCPO guidelines as well as they must have knowledge of the operating procedures of the tablets. They must follow safety guidelines. They must enter all visitors into tablets as required. They must address all visitors with courtesy. They must report any incidents that occur during the course of the day. They must compile proper information for wellness checks with code enforcement and much more. One of the most frequent complaints we receive are about the gates. This is a problem that has held us hostage for quite some time. Due to the prior board changes that were made, we have been unable to receive service on our gates. Ironically, I contacted a company recently from Brooksville that specialized in gates such as ours. They sent a technician out to give me an estimate as to what it would take to get these gates to work at its fullest potential. I was told the main problem with the outbound gates is the way they installed the looping system, as it was mentioned. They will be sending another looping technician out to give us an insight as to what it will take to correct this and what it will cost us. He also checked the pedestrian gate. That has not been working for several years as well, okay? And they're going to be checking that out, and the technician that came stated that the problem with the pedestrian gate was electrical. The whole thing needs to be just rewired. It was a very simple process, and nobody ever told us that. I will be contacting the local electrician to have this checked out as well, and its cost. I will submit the entire cost of fixing this long-standing problem once I have completed estimates. My guess, it will be cheaper than replacing everything. I did suggest replacing the arms at what is called a breakaway arm. Okay, the gates that we have now go like this. These arms will also do the same thing. However, if a car hits it, the gate will swing open like this on a hinge. And all we have to do is push it back and lock it back in place. The gates we have now, they hit them, they break, fall to the ground, and it takes 3 people to put it back on its hinges and try to bolt them back in place. And that's kind of hard when you have bent bolts, and when the frame is bent, and the socket that it goes into is bent, and the arm is bent. So it's quite hard to do that. So, that's the breakaway arms, and I'm looking into checking that and see what the cost would be to replace the 4 arms on the gates. The tablets. The tablet issues we are currently experiencing are plentiful. They range from operating extremely slow. They are, for the most part, non-user friendly. They continually overheat from being outside in 90-degree temperatures. When they're out too long, it forces the gate attendants to switch periodically, and the other tablets get hot just as quick. They have to keep switching tablets. So when the tablets get hot, they have to go back in, they have to get another tablet, and they basically have to start over if they have a car already pulled up at the gate. This is what takes time. This is why you always see long lines at the gate, because of the tablets, okay? The tablets are not user-friendly at this point, and we're having issues with them. What I would like to do is go back to the old way, and this is only going to be a temporary situation. It's a temporary fix until we can get everything fixed the right way, is to go back to the clipboards and writing everything in manually. Okay, we can get it done a lot quicker. We can eliminate the lines. Only one problem is that if you have people who are banned from coming to your house, if you don't want them to come to your house, we are not going to be able to check that. So we would ask that if you have people that are banned at your residence, please let us know so we can compile a list and post it in the gatehouse, okay? Other than that, we will try to go back to the clipboard method until we get everything else resolved, because this tablet issue is just unbearable. When entering license plates, they frequently come up with tapping the wrong digits which makes it impossible for us to locate a vehicle later, and for some reason, the vehicle was caught on the radar speeding. Unfortunately, we cannot totally blame the gate attendants. They spend many hours in the extreme heat standing there, logging in vehicles one after another. So I ask all of you, please, have patience. Please do not scream or yell profanities at these gate attendants because you had to sit in line for 15 minutes. And I'm not just talking residents, I'm talking visitors as well. Okay? They work very hard and are very frustrated, and they're just as frustrated as you are. In the meantime, I ask everyone in this community to please have patience and please give those gate attendants out the respect that they deserve, as they absorb an incredible amount of unnecessary abuse from visitors as well as residents. A little compliment goes a long way. I have inherited a broken system, and that has been broken for several years already. I am doing my best to fix it, but everyone's support will mean a lot. Last but not least, I want to address the radar. As for HOA speed limit enforcement in accordance with Florida law as a private community, we own our roadways. Brookridge does have the authority to levy a fine against an offending party who has been caught speeding, which is in violation of the bylaws relating to traffic control. Bringing us to our radar unit. The radar gun is a true cam laser tech unit, which is self-calibrating. It's a unit that sets time and unit is when the unit is turned on. Our radar technicians are certified, well-trained, and very skilled. One of our radar technicians is also a licensed Class D security guard. The radar unit may be set for whatever the speed is for any given street. For instance, the speed up Brookridge Boulevard is 30 miles per hour. The speed for all side streets are 25 miles per hour. The speed for Country Club Drive is 20. It is necessary to emphasize this. If you are caught on the radar going over these speeds at those locations, you will be issued a violation. If you are a visitor who is caught speeding, you will receive a violation. If it is a vendor other than your lawn service, they will be sent along with a photo and a first-time warning. Okay, we're no longer going to suspend or punish the residents for vendors coming in here speeding. We're going to send them letters and tell them that this is their first-time warning. Their second time that they're caught, they will be suspended and banned from coming into the community for 10 days. All right? If it is a vendor then other than the lawn service, and they will get a first-time warning. If they're caught a second time, they will be suspended here for 2 weeks. There will no longer be any exceptions. For some time now, there's been an array of complaints that have consumed our office as well as social media about speeding. We hear you and we will comply with your demands. Speeding violations under 10 miles per hour will receive a $50 fine, plus a 14-day suspension of barcode privileges. Speeding violators over 10 miles per hour will receive a $100 fine, plus a 30-day suspension of barcode privileges. These guidelines have been placed into our governing documents by you, the people. Please do not blame us for setting these standards. Once again, we are doing the best to fix the long-standing problems at hand, so please be patient with us. Thank you.
Peter, I have a question for you. Were those the ones that you and I sat and talked about that came out of the suggestion box? Because they sounded fairly familiar. Thank you very much to all the residents that put them in. Peter and I have sat down and gone through all of them, so he can resolve them for you.
Thank you, Peter.
Question.
No question.
Okay, we're gonna go on with our agenda, and then at the end, our business, then we will take member comments. Okay, the next one, the board agenda topic. ACC guidelines, Article 1.05, swimming pools and accessories and ACC application checklist. Analysis rewrites section 1.05 to correspond with deed restrictions, Article 3, section 10, see attached. Approve this change recommended by the ACC. And what it is Okay, the current wording right now, 1.05, swimming pools and accessories. Swimming pools and accessories such as decking, screen enclosures, and pump equipment must meet setback requirements. Pool owners must ensure proper drainage of their pools and that their pool water does not drain on or nor damage neighboring lots. Any pool less than 150 gallons maximum capacity is exempt from setback and screening requirements. New wording, 1.05, swimming pools and accessories. All swimming pools and accessories such as decking, screen enclosures, and pump equipment require ACC approval and must have a screened enclosure. Pool owners must ensure proper drainage of their pools and that their water does not drain on or near damaged neighboring lots. Pool owners shall at all times keep their pool property maintained, clean, and sanitary. All pools and accessories must meet setback requirements. Any pool less than 150 gallons maximum capacity is exempt from setback and screening requirements. Recommendation, approve this change recommended by the ACC. Proposed motion to accept change into ACC guidelines. If approved, motion includes this change into the ACC application checklist. Richard?
We're gonna have a discussion.
We need a second first.
We need a second first. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Richard?
Well, I want to do a discussion because I'd say no at this time. Because we've got one later on in here that we're going to approve that needs a variance. And what I'm seeing is how many of these are going to need variances like the one we're going to do at the end of this meeting. I don't see the state 515.12 thing, and now you're actually saying all pools must have. It was an option before, now you're saying it must have a screened enclosure. So if all pools have to, and like this one at the end that we're gonna give a variance to, how many more pools in the community are gonna need variances also?
Okay, the one that you're talking about, Richard, at the end that we're gonna go into, I'm glad, Peter, you're coming up too. This pool that we're talking about was installed many years ago. Matter of fact, the county doesn't even have any record of that being installed many years ago. Peter, you wanna take it?
Yeah.
Well, can we hold on? I think we're supposed to do this one first, right?
Well, yeah, we're just giving comments on, because Richard just brought up a question about
That should be,
variance.
that should be.
Richard had a valid question on that, and I just want to answer. The situation is that this house, when this house was purchased, that pool was already there, and the laws that Hernando County had at the time, as well as Brookridge, were a lot different than they are now. So the pool was put in there. There was never any paperwork done by Brookridge for them to put that pool in at that time. This lady bought this house, okay, unknowingly, and she put a fence around there and everything, and then the laws changed and rules changed. The law now states that every pool must have an enclosure, okay? So therefore, she fell under the auspices of being grandfathered in, and at that time. So now that the state and the law says that she must have a pool enclosure, she has to have a pool enclosure. However, her guidelines at the side do not meet our guidelines, which is 12 feet at the sides. Okay, however, Hernando County says you only need to have 8 feet. Okay, so their guidelines are different than ours. Okay, Do we follow theirs or do we follow ours? Okay? According to, we follow ours, yes. However, okay, she could turn around and fight that even further if she wants, because she was grandfathered in. She's not responsible for what happened and what's happening now.
So that has nothing to do with this.
So I'm just answering that
Okay,
question.
we'll get to that one later. Thank you, Peter. Okay, Richard.
Okay, which led to my question. My question is, it keeps talking about, that it must meet all setback requirements. Set by who? The county, Brookridge? Okay, so these are set by Brookridge, and Brookridge is was it 8 or 10 feet? It's at 10, and the county is at 8. I don't know, can he go up? Can he respond to this? Yes, no.
Yes, and
No,
ACC
just-
chair and the person.
You're talking about the wording in the HC application, right?
Yeah.
You're not talking about the other house yet.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about their setback requirements.
For clarification, he should go
It's just,
Okay.
it's just clarifying what's there.
Paul, would you,
Well, would you go up and, thank you.
Mhm.
I am Paul Campbell, Unit 2, Chairperson of the ACC. The ACC works closely with code enforcement on the handling of the ACC Act. Their input, just as the committee's input, is as important to making these applications easy for the residents to fill out and to present to the ACC committee. This article, the swimming pool changes were requested by code enforcement to be placed into the application checklist. The ACC looked at deed restriction, Article 3, Section 10, which refers to swimming pools. We changed the wording in our guidelines to exactly match the deed restrictions. It has nothing to do with setbacks, it has nothing to do with the upcoming pool. This is only to match the deed restrictions to our guidelines, so that it is the exact wording. And if this passes, then the code enforcement would like to put it into the checklist of the application, which it is not in there now. That's all this does. It puts the deed restrictions exactly worded with our guideline.
But then, for every variance, everything.
This has nothing to do with the variance.
What I'm trying to get at is how many pools do we have in here that might not meet?
I have no clue, and I don't think
Requirements.
anybody in this room has any clue. Because any pool put in since 2015, when the ACC guidelines were put in, it says in deed restrictions that all pools will have a screen enclosure. That's been in the deed since 2015. So anyone that's put a pool in before that, we don't know. Anyone put in afterwards has the screen.
But I still have a problem because we're gonna later make a variance.
But this is just
We're
a,
not the board, we're not the board anymore. We're not gonna be the board anymore. Somebody from code enforcement, new code, years later, sees that there are ones that don't meet the setback because they went to the,
Richard,
If they never met the
I don't,
setback,
this has nothing to do with the setbacks, the way I understand. This is to match the ACC guidelines. The wording that they had did not match the wording in our other governing documents. They all have to be the same. So they're just, in their guidelines for their applications, are changing the wording so that they match our deed restrictions. That's the way I understood it, Paul.
right, I did not change the deed restrictions, which I cannot do. I changed the guidelines to match them.
Just the guidelines.
And there was 2 sentences put in the guideline that said it must meet setback requirements, and the pool under 150 gallons does not meet those setbacks. Those are the only 2 sentences that are different from deed restriction.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Rich?
But Paul, it was before you didn't need a screened,
Before 2015.
okay.
They were grandfathered in, the people for 2015 before.
She doesn't have to put in a screen. She wants to.
Rich, what they're trying to do, they're trying to put apples to apples. See, the board voted on these guidelines. You understand? What they're trying to do is, whatever the deed restriction says, they're gonna put it the same way as their guideline. You understand what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with any variances or anybody pulls out there right now. They're just trying to make sure that the guidelines match the deed restrictions as far as one, and then they want to give that to the people when they come in for an ACC application for a pool enclosure.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the change into ACC guidelines, excuse me. Do we have a vote? Second?
Where is
We
that?
already seconded. Richard? Yeah, Richard? All in favor?
Aye.
Are you in favor? Catherine?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all we're doing. Okay, thank you.
So, okay, I'm confused. All in favor?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1. 3-1, Richard abstained.
I didn't say no, I said I abstained.
Okay.
Right, well, that's what we just said, 3 said,
Okay. I can't overhear now over here, so.
Yeah.
Yes, 1 abstention.
now that we got through that one. Next one is barbecues. Okay. This is, there's been a correction on this one because it was from section. Okay, the section was noted as 3.28. It needs to go to section 3.27. ACC Guidelines, Article 3, Section 327. Barbecue structures and ACC application checklist. Analysis, eliminate grills will be stored under cover when not in use. Recommendation, approve this change recommended by the ACC. Proposed motion. Motion to accept change to the ACC Guidelines, Article 3, Section 3.27 from 3.28. If approved, in the ACC application checklist, motion to eliminate grills will be stored under cover when not in use.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Yes, so this took out the no permanent barbecue grill structures will be installed?
They took out that one sentence that it states in there. That grows.
But it's, this
Okay,
is
but
the
here
new
we got
one.
a different one here, Paul.
This is the one that you just gave us, and it doesn't have that in it.
Right.
So this is, I'm confused. Okay.
Okay, the correction I gave to you says that the analysis is, Paul Campbell, Unit 2, sorry. The analysis is to eliminate the sentence, grills will be stored under cover when not in use. In the second page of the correction, it says the new section 327 will read, barbecue structures, no permanent barbecue structures will be installed. portable grills that use propane gas and charcoal are allowed. That is already in the guidelines and has been for years. We took out the grills need to be undercover because I think it's a waste. That's all we did was take out that one sentence.
Okay, so we don't have any permanent outdoor kitchens in Brookridge at all?
Again, I don't know.
Okay.
It's been in the guidelines that there should be no permanent barbecue structures. This is a manufactured home community. If you're gonna let people have permanent barbecue structures made out of brick with the roofs of these homes,
Okay, so this is the way it's supposed to be right here.
that's the way it will read if you vote to take out that sentence. The original one was just like that, but it said grills need to be stored undercover.
And undercover, you mean,
Under a cover, under your carport, the issue that we're having is you cook a couple steaks up, you put the grill on the side yard, code enforcement drives by, takes a picture of it because it's not undercover. They go back to the office, they print the picture. They print the violation. They mail it to your house. You take the time to go down there and explain to them, you just cooked a couple steaks and you were letting it cool. It's a waste of time and money for code enforcement to be doing this. And to me, most people are smart enough to put their grill under when it's not used anyway.
Thank you for clarifying that, Paul. I was confused.
You might as well stay up there for
Way to word that, most.
Okay, wait.
Just stay up there.
Let's do it.
I seconded it.
Okay, Linda second.
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. All right. Next one. Topic is solar panel installations. Richard, you should have had this one, but that's okay. There are no analysis, there are no directions, panel installations. There are no directions for solar panel installations are currently in ACC guidelines. Recommendation, add information to ACC guidelines per attached. 3.18, solar panels. All solar panel installations require ACC approval. Panels may be mounted on the roof or on the ground. Ground units must comply with setback limitations and must be placed behind the rear plane of the home. No panels may be placed to the side or front of the home. All applications must be submitted with an accompanying boundary survey, sketch or drawing indicating the specific locations of panels and their compliance with setback requirements. Okay. Recommendation, add information to ACC guidelines per attached. Proposed motion to add solar panel guidelines per attached to ACC guidelines. Do I have a motion?
You just made it. I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Any discussion?
Discussion, favor?
Well, I just think more thought should go into this because some people have like a second carport. Some people's houses are sideways on their lots. So does that mean that they can put them what we would consider the front of the house or whatnot?
They're in the backyard.
I'm not comfortable with this right now, the way it is. It just seems too simple to thing, and it's just something else to kind of You know, I think it's something that should be thought out a little bit more. That's my opinion.
So,
Do you want to table it?
Richard, you want to table this for further information? Or, yes, Paul, please. Might as well. Get it right from the horse's mouth.
Paul Campbell, Unit 2. There currently are no guidelines that we have for solar panels. We do not restrict anyone from putting solar panels up because we have no guidelines and we're not going to, except for where they place them. A home that is sideways facing the street, you have all that room behind your property to place these panels. They cannot be on your front or side yards. Doesn't matter which way you turn your house, they can go in the backyard or up on the roof. The placing of them in the yard have to conform with the setback requirements that the ACC has. They have to be 10 feet from the side property line. Most lots 12 feet from the back property line. You know, there are different lengths for backyards for different properties. The ones on Rialto obviously have a bigger backyard. All this is doing is verifying that they have to submit the application to the ACC, not a one-page app. It would be a full application showing where these panels will go. We had one that did put in an application for panels for their swimming pool. We cannot stop them from putting the panels, but we can tell them where they were going to put the panels on a structure in their backyard that they built. That's all this is. It's putting something in our guidelines, which we have never had, saying where they can put that.
okay, so I would feel more comfortable. I've driven through the park a couple of times. I see them on the side facing the road. I've seen them on the back of the house. I've actually seen a few that stand up higher than the back fence. So you can see them from wherever you're at. I'd really like to table this and like Richard said, work a little bit, maybe sit down with you guys, because what's gonna happen to those people that already have them? I mean, did they already come in and
If they have them, they'll be grandfathered in.
they'd be grandfathered in?
Right.
Okay, I'd still like to table it to find out more information,
And
so I'd be with him.
I would love to see where they have placed a sign at their home, because I would think code would have stopped that from happening unless they were here for a long time.
Okay, board wants to table this in the meantime. Yes, thank you, Paul. And Richard will probably meet with Paul or the ACC to get more information. Richard? Okay, thank you, Paul. Thanks, Richard. Okay, I need a motion to table.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. Okay. Okay. This is under new business. Topic is to revoke the trespassing of Thomas Fryman. Analysis: trespassing of Thomas Fryman was a choice made by the previous board on July 26, 2023. Recommendation: remove permanent trespass of Thomas Fryman from the administration office and all current committees. Motion to remove permanent trespass of Thomas Fryman from the administration office and all current committees.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
Any discussion, Richard?
I just have one little bit of discussion, and you ladies can vote the way you want to vote. I was not a party of Mr. Fryman's trespass decision. So I would, and I've got nothing against him whatsoever or whatever, but I would like to abstain from this vote.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with Richard. I mean, I have nothing against Thomas Fryman at all, and I believe that, the previous board, and I know that you two are board members, so I feel like I should abstain as well, although, only because I wasn't responsible for this taking place.
Neither was I.
So, I definitely feel like it should be done, but I mean, you were on the tail end of it, so.
No, I came on the same time you did.
Oh, you did?
I was on the board, but was not involved with this at all, the decision or any, but.
Well, I guess,
Yes.
if I abstain and only one of you says yes, I mean, it'll be a yes, so.
No,
Why
No.
won't it?
you're a four-member board, three have to vote to say
Yes.
yes. You have authority to do that. This has nothing to do with what you did. It has to do with you did.
Okay.
I would really, I'll be honest with my board members, Richard, Linda, and Catherine. This has been going on for too long.
I agree with that.
And I think, we need to put this to rest. So
Okay.
I would appreciate it if you guys would, let's get this done with and go on with our business. I appreciate your votes, Richard. Because it's been going on too long.
Right,
Thank you.
and I'm all set, so are we voting?
Yes.
We have a motion, a second?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
We have three.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So enough's enough. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, what is it you got?
I got it now. Movement of funds from Regions Bank. Regions Bank has proven to be difficult to work with. Regions accounts to be closed and funds transferred to Edward Jones Money Market and checking account funds transferred to our operating account at Brandon Bank. Recommendations: approve movement of funds from Regions Bank to Edward Jones Money Market. Account is $200,000 and checking is $200 to our operating account at Brandon Bank. $2,000. It's getting late. It's past my bedtime. Proposed motion. Motion to move funds from Regions Bank to Edward Jones Money Market account is $200,000 and checking is $2,000 to our operating account at Brandon Bank. Do I get a second? Any discussion?
Yeah, I have discussion. Where's the statement as of the date you gained access to those accounts with the required help you needed from Catherine Lane? She also needs to be a signer on all of the Brookridge Bank accounts. So I'd like to know why she's not.
Point of order, that has nothing to
To do
do with
with-
the motion in hand.
No.
Point of order. That's something to be discussed. at
I
another
have no
time.
way of knowing if these figures are correct.
So you're saying you don't trust the board member. There's a motion on you just to move the funds. It has nothing to do with Catherine needing to be.
Okay, then my vote's no.
It's all about.
Okay, let's take a vote.
Aye.
Richard,
No.
Catherine,
No.
Now, we're only getting 1.75% interest on that money market right there.
I understand that, but I was told when I signed those minutes that I would be allowed to be put on the card. I was told that that Millie would go with me, we would go to the bank and take care of it. I signed those minutes. You stopped me in the middle of Brookridge Boulevard One day, the next day it went on. This is something for us to discuss. I tried discussing, it has not been discussed.
You
I
haven't
went
come
to the
me.
bank, I went to the bank and Chris sat across from me when he called the administrator, which was you, Linda, and
You
you
were at the
said
wrong bank.
she cannot have access to those accounts.
You were at the wrong bank. You were at
Chris
Brandon
told
Bank.
me that I was at the right bank.
We're talking about Regions
I
Bank.
already went to Regions Bank and they gave me back the minutes. But I went to Regions as well. I went to both. And you denied me access to them.
You're not on the account.
I'm not on
It's
the
their
account.
policy.
I think we need to take, we already took the vote, so I think, we should be done.
We move on. Okay, the next thing on the topic is the gatehouse. Arlene had a company called the Mold Guys come in and inspect our gatehouse. She will be putting this report on our website, so all the pictures are available for the residents to see the conditions that our gate attendants are working in. They have recommended that there's extensive work that needs to be done. We have mold. The ceiling tiles have mold growth. The air conditioning system has mold. And the list goes on. So I think everybody needs to look at this so it can be discussed what steps we need to take in making that a safe environment for our employees. Anybody, any questions on our gatehouse? Yes, Vivian? Did you submit a paper? No, then you'll have to wait till member comments. Okay, the next thing is our computers. TMH made a proposal on January the 9th, 2021 to the board of directors for 9 computers. The price of those computers was $1,075 plus setup. And networking, sales tax brought it to $11,981.25, which amounts to a cost of $1,331.25 per computer. The IT person that we have now informed the GM that the computers have 2013 processors in them and they cannot be updated to Windows 11. Not being able to update to Windows 11 creates a problem with the other software not working properly. I was up there the other day and QuickBooks was down on them. We got to get these updated. Millie and I went to the maintenance building on Monday and got the records and the information on the 9 computers purchased in 2021. The only records that we have found was an invoice to pay for the 9 computers. Nowhere on any of the paperwork that we have from TMH does it say if the computers are new and what the manufacturer's warranty is for the computers. All the paperwork states is workstation, Core i7, solid state drive, 16 GB, DDR4 memory, DVD RW, Windows 10 Pro. Not only do our computers need to be updated, but in conversations with the office employees, we have just about outgrown the server. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
On 11/25/2020, a new server was purchased for $6,843.38. 11/16 of 2020 and December 4 of 2020, computers were bought at a cost of $2,289.76. Same descriptions, as the ones bought in 21. Also, a computer was bought 5/19/21 for $1,075. Again, nothing about a warranty. We have a total of 16 computers that need to be upgraded, and we need to find out if we need a second server or a bigger server or what we need to do on our server. I do know from talking to our employees that we have a lot of computer issues between the computers and the server, and some days they cannot get into programs to do their daily work. I make a recommendation to the board to proceed with giving proposals to upgrade all our computers and see what needs to be done to upgrade the server. If anybody wants to see copies of what I have from TMH Technologies, you're welcome to see them. There is no name on the computers as far as HP, Dell, all these other names. It has a white lettering on them that says TMH. So where we sold new computers, refurbished computers, built computers by TMH, we have no idea what we were sold, and there is no warranty on them anywhere. Okay, last year, 2023, there were two articles on the ballot. Article 5, Section 2, and Article 11, Section 1 of the bylaws to amend them, and they were both passed by the residents. But due to the incorrect wording on the advice of our attorney, they're not complying with the 720s. They were never recorded, therefore the changes were never updated in our bylaws. Therefore, they both must be rescinded. Topic, rescind Article 5, Section 2 of the amended and restated bylaws of Brookridge Community Property Owners, Inc. is amended to read as follows. Rescind due to the fact that it does not comply with Florida Statute 720-2.10, election of board directors. All directors must reside year-round in Brookridge and be a BCPO member, with the exception of one and only one BCPO director position. Only one director position may be a seasonal and/or part-time property owner. The remaining directors must be year-round residents. Receive the above-mentioned article. Proposed. Motion to rescind Article 5, Section 2 of the amended and restated bylaws of the BCPO. Do I have a second?
Discussion?
Discussion?
Okay. This topic is defective and must be struck down, as there is no 722.10. And the people voted for this, and it was passed.
722.10, election of board directors. That's the 720s of Florida. It wouldn't be in the book
Plus,
if it's not.
plus the members voted it. The members-
But they can't record it, so it's not legal, Richard.
You'd have to make a new amendment and have them.
Right now we go back to what was in there until this is worked out and a new one written up and voted on. That doesn't mean that you have to go off the board. We just gotta change the wording and get it correct.
I think we need to have more clarification, and I'm here with 720s, and I did speak with somebody about 720, previous board member I asked, because I had looked everywhere for that and couldn't find it. So I asked a young lady that was sitting out talking to the two of us the other day, and she said it starts at 72301, and which is what I have. And then when I go through everything else that I've gone through, and I even went onto the state's website again, and there is no they said there's preambles, but they are not 720s. They are things that were stipulated, but they are not actual, right?
No, I said I would check it.
Oh,
I
okay.
said I would check it.
But they are preambles, correct?
No, I think it starts, what does 720 start with?
72301. That's what mine starts with.
There's twos. You have to start at 100.
Okay.
Yeah, you start at 100.
Start at 100. Well, I don't see another. Are we voting?
Did I get a second? Seconded. And we'll take a vote.
No.
No.
2 and 2. Huh?
No, some of their board members. Something's on.
Somebody has heard something on the paddle. All right, so it's 2-2, so motion failed.
Yes.
See, that was just me talking.
Sounds like it's something.
I got it. Okay. Okay.
No. Okay, the next one, rescind Article 11, Section 1 of amended, restated bylaws of Brookridge Community Property Owners, Inc. is amended to read as follows. Rescind this article because of improper terminology. Section 1, BCPO funds shall be deposited in the name of the corporation in any banks. They had marked out savings and loans, certificate of deposit, or money market funds. Accounts must be insured by the FDIC as determined by the treasurer to be in BCO's best interest, with timely and proper notification to the board. Certificate of deposit or money market accounts insured by the FDIC. The specific placement of any BCO funds requires a simple majority vote of the board of directors. Recommendations: leave the Article 11, Section 1 as follows. BCPO funds shall be deposited in the name of the corporation in any bank, certificate of deposit, or money market accounts insured by the FDIC. The specific placement of any BCPO funds requires a simple majority vote of the board of directors. Proposed motion. Motion to rescind Article 11, Section 1 that was on the ballot last year and passed by the residents but never recorded because of improper wording. Do I have a second? Any discussion?
I've gone through this 1,000 times, and I've gone back and forth between books and books and books. And I just feel like this needs to be, there needs to be more discussion. So I'd like to be able to table this until then.
Well, what do I do with the CDs that are coming up?
Turn them up, roll them
I don't feel comfortable when it comes to money at this point.
But it's gotta have board approval before.
It has to have
Before-
board approval, So just as soon as I know what's being transitioned and transferred, I will feel more comfortable about making a decision
If you
about
wanna
what's
know,
going on. This is stuff that I all should have known about before, so right now, I'd just like to be able to table this vote so we can move on.
okay,
If you wanna
But
make
you
sure that
wanna
I
know
have
what's
this
in-
information, that would be great.
in the accounts, you know, we
Thank
got a
you.
CD that came due today, so I just leave it in cash, not making any interest.
I can't answer that. I just got this piece of paper directly right now in front of me. I need time enough to be able to look at it. I don't do anything with my bank account unless I know what's in there.
That's why I'm asking for board approval.
And
The
I
way
can't,
it was before, Jim had control of everything.
okay, but
I don't want that. I want board approval, and it's on the agenda.
You've been talking about transparency and everything. Catherine Lane is your first vice president. She should know enough that if something were to happen to Millie, she could step right in. I
That's Millie's
would
position.
say yes to you contingently on Catherine being put on all the accounts, like she should have been. But otherwise, I don't feel comfortable with it, because it's like you're hiding stuff from us.
I'm
That's
not
the way-
hiding anything.
That's what I feel. I'm sorry, that's what I feel.
I've been busy with the budget. Catherine comes to
I
the
think that
budget
we should
meetings,
just
but never
take-
No,
asks
I'm
me anything.
gonna make a motion to table this because this could go on all night.
Yep.
And we're not getting anywhere with it, and now we're not gonna be doing anything. This is tabled.
I accept.
Well, they don't wanna do anything. Okay, no, it's not paid, just move.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda, fee schedule, lot mowing charge. Lot mowing charge, annual vacant lots only. Starting in 2025, the annual fee to mow vacant lots will increase to a rate of $400 annually. Motion to increase the mowing charge to $400 annually starting January the 1st, 2025. Do I have a second? Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like discussion. I guess Vince would be the one that can answer this. As far as your people or yourself are doing this mowing of these lots of people that people own or whatever. And that's wear and tear on our machines and stuff. That's time that you're spending. And I take it you have 3 people working for you? So the maintenance, repairs, and everything, how much money do we actually take in from mowing? Is that shown on our budget somewhere that we're taking in a great deal of money from this mowing and offset the cost of all the different things?
Right now, I'm cut between 20 and 22 lots, okay? So at $300 a pop, with the math, it's like $60,000 a year. Does it make sense to do it?
Would it make more sense?
With gas the way it is, with blades the way it are, with maintenance the way it is, it's like, you know, the more wear and tear I put on machines, the more money you spend on new machinery. You understand? So I'm, you know, if they want to pay the $400, good.
Yes.
But I'd rather have somebody up on the outside do the lots. You're dealing with uneven ground, okay? You're dealing with gopher tortoise holes, okay, all over the place, all right? And one of the biggest things when we go to do a force mow, or off the subject, or like the house that burned down on Morelli, okay? We had to go mow it, okay? which almost took out a spindle of my machine because I didn't see a stump in the 3-foot high grass that was there. Okay, so if we don't know what's there, you know, we're in potential damaging our equipment, and it costs us money. It ain't cheap anymore.
Yeah, there could be a piece of rebar you can go over, and
If you wanna know the cost on things, you just talk to Mary Story. She knows all the costs on it. Okay? I'm sorry, Mary. But what I'm saying is, things now are tripling and quadrupling.
Okay, and also things, I'm
Just
sorry, Richard.
letting you know that.
I'm
it's-
kind of thinking we'd be better off farming it out and charging the people, and not use our equipment, not use our people.
Right.
Best thing to do is increase it, let somebody else do it.
That somebody, and not only, you know, with the lots, these mowers with the median, the whole length of Brookridge Boulevard, you got your retention basins. I mean, it's just not the empty lots that he cuts in. There's a lot of lots that are uneven. Mine happens to be okay, they in and out, but if it's gonna, the cost of keeping these mowers working doesn't pay for us to really do it. Years ago, Brookridge used to only cut Brookridge-owned properties. Now, over the years, I guess as a courtesy, you know, somebody come in, you know, could Brookridge do it? And of course, they would charge whatever the amount was. But for us to continue on this, we have 3 mowers, and all you need to do is have one of those mowers go down for a couple of days, you're gone. You'll see the weeds and everything else. So I'm proposing, recommend motion to increase it to $400 annually. There's a lot of mower companies in here. Just find out, you know, what they would charge for your mowing, because I'm gonna do the same thing. Because I know BCPO, they mow our lot next door, and whatever it is. I mean, it's not cost effective for us to do it anymore. It's just not.
So is there a place somewhere in our, when people first come in, I know when hello, okay, we got it again. Don't move the mic. Okay, so I know that residents are responsible for their lawns, and I understand that Peter, wherever he went to, is responsible for making sure that they're responsible. But isn't it written somewhere that we have to sign? I'm pretty sure that I had to sign something that stated that I would maintain and take care of my property. So if that is in something that they're signing off on, maybe when they get their packets, we can, you know, let them know, find somebody if you're not gonna be here or something. But I don't think we should be responsible either. I don't think it's cost effective.
No, it's not.
And it's certainly not employee effective. I don't know how you guys are doing it. So, with only 3 employees, so I'm clueless.
Okay, I make a motion.
You made the
Okay,
motion.
well, you know, tonight. Let's have a vote, Richard?
No,
To give them more money. It's to give them more money.
Catherine?
To give them more money.
Give who more money?
It's going
It's going from $300 to $400 a lot.
Right.
Exactly, this is the purpose
We're
of
hoping
doing
that
this.
$400 increase might discourage them.
Discourage them, now you have to go and find a lawnmower people. I know I will. You don't think it's enough? Increase it more? Really? All right, let's hear it. 500? All in favor for 500?
Cut your own.
Do I have a, we're like at an auction over here.
Cut your own grass.
It can't be done like this.
No, I can't be done by it. Right now, I'm proposing that it goes from 300 to 400 right now.
So I say we table this and we all get
And
together
then
and
we do it
figure
again.
out
All
what
right.
a good price would be and then bring it back.
Well, I didn't know you guys felt that good about it. Okay.
Cut your own grass.
It's too much. It's too much for them. Okay, we're gonna table. I'm gonna redo this. Okay.
Topic, renewal of CDs maturing in August, September, and October. Brookridge has 2 CDs maturing in August on the 21st, today, and the 30th. There are 2 CDs maturing in September on the 3rd and the 6th, and 1 CD maturing in October on the 15th. These are all at Edward Jones. We also have 3 CDs at Brandon Bank that automatically roll over, and the interest each month rolls over also. Recommendation, renew all CDs as they mature with the best rates available at the time of maturity. Proposed motion. Motion to renew 5 CDs as required by Article 11, Section 1, that requires board approval by a simple majority vote of the BOD as to the placement of funds. Do I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
On this sheet you gave us, I don't see Edward Jones.
Turn it over.
Oh, okay, there it is.
The CD that, we've got a CD that's maturing on October the 15th, 2024 with Morton Community Bank for $36,000. September the 6th, we have a CD at Oak Bank, Fitchburg, $100,000.
So I need
And
to-
we have, August the 30th, a CD with Alley Bank, Sandy, $54,000. We have September the 3rd of 24, Mellon National, $59,000. And the one that matured today was at Morton Community Bank, $35,000. Yes, there are 2.
There are actually 3, but I'm not one.
Do these show what they started out as? Are you saying like?
These were all things that Jim had started. So the amounts that I gave you is what he put in them.
So this is what was in him when he started, or what's in him now?
Huh?
Is
At Edward Jones?
Well, I thought you were only getting 1 to 3 month CDs.
Oh, he's got some that were 2-year CDs.
Well, so my question is, you had 2 that matured today, I guess.
1 today.
2 maturing in August on the 21st and then the 3rd.
And then 30.
Right. So the one that matured today, did you talk to?
Edward Jones called me.
Okay.
She had some good rates, but I told her I couldn't do anything because I had to have board approval. So she just put it in the money market account for right now.
And you didn't put that in the money market to begin, I mean, in the CD to begin with.
No,
That
Jim
was-
did. That was,
Jim.
all these are what Jim did.
Okay, but even if Jim did it, there would have been a contract for that CD. Okay, there would have been a contract.
There's no contract on CDs.
I have CDs. There's a
Well, I've
contract.
never seen any.
Well, then you better talk to them because there's a contract that you sign on the CD. Okay? And it says what it starts out at. Okay? And then you know from there what your interest rate is going to be. So you know what you should be getting.
All I get is a confirmation that states the interest rate and the term. And wherever Jim had them, I have not found them. They weren't on his computer or any of his paperwork.
Edward Jones should have a copy of it. or the bank should have a copy of that contract, they keep a copy.
But they don't call them contracts.
They show what they start out, they show what the penalty is gonna be if you take, the money out too.
All this they give that I've seen, and I can't carry the whole office with me with every paper. They just send an email saying that they bought this, and this is what they put in the CD and the interest rate. It's just a transaction verification.
And you don't get any statements, monthly statements?
I get monthly statements.
Okay. So it should show what it started out at, what its
Right.
value is.
36,000 on the one that, today. Some of them he had set up where interest is paid monthly. Some of them he had set up where interest is paid at maturity. And I've had to go through and try and figure out all of that. I'm still in the process of working on it. Because it was like a bowl of spaghetti what he'd done. Right.
Until you're,
All right, we're gonna table this and move on. There's some other issues here that cannot be taken care of tonight, unfortunately. Got a second?
I'll second it.
Richard? Yes. Okay, Catherine? Okay, it's tabled. Okay, this I believe may be our last,
No,
no. Yeah.
no, the finance committee has to send the budget.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Linda, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Topic variance for pool cage at 14326 Evermore Street. Analysis 10-foot setback required, 4 foot shy for pool cage, and this was the one that was originally talked about earlier. Recommendation, county setback requirements allow up to 8 feet. County approved permit for 8 feet. Property owner is 2 feet shy according to county rules. Since this pool was installed back in the 1970s, they're being grandfathered in during the rule changes to date. Bylaws, state requires pool cage as well as Brookridge and property owners should be allowed a variance of 2 feet so she may install cage. Property owner purchased house with pool. We have all the documentation. This is, like I said, it states that this pool was put in back in the 1970s. Make a motion to approve the variance for 14326 Evermore Street. All documentation has been attached for your reading. And I read this. Okay. Discussion? Richard? Okay. Linda?
No.
We have a vote? All in favor? Aye. Wow, we got something done tonight, guys. This homeowner's gonna be very happy with this, let me tell you, because this has been an ongoing thing, and you try to do the best for everybody. Sometimes, you know, it can be trying. All right, Linda? Okay, it's your show.
Tonight, the finance committee is presenting the proposed budget for 2025 to the board of directors for review. The board of directors will have our next scheduled meeting September the 18th at 7 p.m. to review the proposed budget they have been presented. The board of directors has the option of approving or disapproving the proposed budget or making changes to the proposed budget. I want to thank all the members of the finance committee for all the hard work and the many hours they put into the preparation of the proposed budget for 25. With all the inconsistencies with the reports that were furnished to the committee, they had a really hard challenge in front of them. But with the hard work and determination, the budget was completed and has been presented to the board of directors for the next step. Again, I want to thank all the members of the finance committee. You have a few weeks off to rest up, and our next meeting will be September the 4th at 10 a.m. Thank you, finance committee.
Okay, report of directors. Richard, you'd like to go first, please? Okay, Catherine?
I'm telling you, it's already late. All I want to say is that I hope from this point forward that the board can work united. I hope that we all can communicate, and whether we agree to disagree or we agree, at least we can move forward together versus being separated. Because it doesn't feel real good when you're not included in what decisions need to be made or the information that comes in until you're sitting at the board meeting and you wind up getting it. So that would be all I have to say, other than the fact that I am still doing the traffic committee, and they did combine to the development committee and traffic committee together. So I think that that's a very cool thing. So thank you.
You got anything, Richard?
Ladies first.
Mr. Gill, do we start RV
Yes.
in September?
Huh?
September?
Yeah.
We start back in the RV
Well,
for our walkthroughs?
For the walkthrough steps.
Right.
I need to get the open.
Just a minute. Okay, so September the 3rd Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, walk through in the RV compound.
Yeah, it might be back.
Millie?
Right,
I
you gotta
some
wait for a
questions.
little bit. Beautification's doing a great job. They're still looking for somebody that's got a pickup truck that can help them with their trailer and watering tank. If somebody would like to help them out in the evenings, they would greatly appreciate it.
Well, I just want to let everybody know here, I only ran to be a board member to try to get things done. I didn't want to become president of the board, treasurer, vice president, anything else. I just wanted to be a voice of reason, and I'm very disappointed in how our board's running right now. It's not, it doesn't feel very good when somebody slams the phone down on you. It doesn't feel good when you call somebody and they don't return your call. So,
Point of order, these are supposed to be director's reports, not putting out dirty laundry. Yes.
well, I'm reporting
Your
the way-
report- your director's
way-
report has to do with committees that you're in charge of as a liaison. It's
Okay.
not to vent
Well,
on your
all right.
personal issues.
Okay, Mary, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I just hope that we can work together better.
Okay, we're going to members' comments. Okay, first, Gail Metcalf in reference to the budget. You're first up?
No, I'm all set.
You're done?
I got the information that I wanted.
Okay, Mr. Frank McDowell? Mr. McDowell? Okay, dear, you're up.
Hello? How about now? Everybody hear me okay? Not everybody talks loud enough in this thing, I can tell you that. My name is Frank McDowell, Unit 6. Communication is key among all of you. You can't wait till the last minute to get information put in front of you to make a decision for these neighbors here, all these nice people that all live here, my neighbors, your neighbors, that live here in Brookridge. One thing I would really like to see you do is move this table up on the stage.
No.
No? Hold on a second. Move this podium to the center so you can look straight at them, because people that are sitting on the back row, you can't see what's going on up here. If we need to spend money to buy a lift, so be it. I spent $2,000 on a lift to get my mother in my house, because my house is elevated on Morelli. And put a $1,500 door in, so I could get her in the house. Also, it would really be great if you had microphone stands that were in front of you that you could talk right into, and the audience can hear exactly what you're saying. It'd be nice to have one that goes in this hole here. I think that's what it's for, to come up, so when folks talk into it, everybody in the audience can hear exactly what is being said.
That would be good for the suggestion box.
Done.
Tried that,
I did it in person.
We already had them.
tried that.
Let me get my old man readers out here. I've heard so much discussion about money. I've been to several meetings now since I've been here this second time living in Brookridge. And it seemed like there's a lot of confusion concerning money. Money here, money there. Does anybody have any idea how much Brookridge is even worth?
No.
Me either. Okay. When was the last time there was a full audit completed for the Brookridge community?
The audit is still in process for 22 and 23.
What takes?
The CPA has not closed the books out for 23 because she is lacking information from Brookridge. There are line items that weren't done. The bank accounts were not reconciled. The credit cards were not reconciled. And she's doing that for the whole year and doesn't have it completed yet since it wasn't done in-house.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, because nobody knows how much money Brookridge is even worth. I think the guys that work at the front guard shack, we need to spend money on that. They need safety up there.
I agree.
You know what happened to the people at the guy at Brookridge, or at High Point, excuse me.
I agree, sir.
I give them a lot of credit for what they do, and, well, okay. Has there been a loss of any money from 2017 to 2024 in the Brookridge accounts? Does Brookridge have a full-time auditor that works with the treasurer? So
They have a CPA.
Okay, do you all work together with them to supply?
The bookkeeper does.
To work with all the board members, so everybody knows what money is where and where it's going and what bills are being paid and credit card.
We get 3 minutes right here. We only get 3 minutes. We have a lot more
Well,
records to get out.
the Brookridge community has the right to know where all the money is and where the money goes. And if things keep going the way they're going, I'm gonna push and see if we can get a forensics audit done.
I have talked to forensic companies.
Okay, a forensic audit, I recommended a forensic audit 2 years ago and it was turned down. And I will be talking to this board about getting a forensic audit. And if it's approved, if we find the money, because it's very, very expensive to do it, but maybe we'll find out by them going through the records from, let's say, 10 years ago on up to present, where the hell the money has gone. And we'll find out.
Before you get here, so you know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, next one up
Okay,
is,
I need to ask some questions here from you two.
go ahead.
All right, hopefully I don't miss any. Sorry, it's been taking so long. Let's see, all right, Unit 6, the budget. Don't know when we're gonna truly have as far as what correct numbers, because we don't have an audit. Talks about the $400 for, and does $400 cover our costs, is talking about the mowing, that was tabled, so we'll get those figures together. Where are we at with the forensic audit? And help us clear understanding of the financial position. That was from Mr. Henry. Another question from Val Stratton was, Unit 3, members' comment, could we please use underline and strike through when we propose changes and rules and present it to the board?
Yes.
Okay. It might help clarify a lot of things going on there. Jerry Kraft, Unit 1, she would like to think that they're more qualified and more experienced people would be selected for the good of the community. This does not criticize anyone. One of the suggestions is going to be read and discussed. That's from the suggestion box. Let's see, can we post the questions and answers on our website from the suggestion box? That's something, and then the contract for a CPA hadn't been signed as of 3 weeks ago for 2024. If I missed any questions, please let me know down at the bottom here, and I'll read it again.
Okay, so I'd like to respond to the suggestion boxes. Millie spoke with me, and we don't have it, as you can see, the board meeting, we don't have enough time at a board meeting to respond to the suggestions, so I've been going to the source. I've been to Vince, I've been to Peter, I've been all over the place. But all of those things are being worked on, and as you can see, I have them all right here. You know, I mean, I've got tons of them. But I'm working on them, and just as soon as Millie gives me a format that we can all gather together or do whatever we gotta do, then I'll respond to them. But we haven't even had a chance to talk about them yet, so I am working on that.
Okay. All right, Gil, well, I'm taking these in order, if you don't mind. Okay, Russ Combs, sir, you're up. His question is bylaws. Why have we not added people to the board? I do not like 3 local people and 1 phone call member making decisions oversight.
It's the board members. Before, you cannot agree on anything, you're dysfunctional.
Excuse me?
You're dysfunctional.
We don't have your kind of rhetoric. That's not what this is all about. We're doing the best that we can. You are, to your own opinions, but don't badmouth us. Okay, if you feel you can do anything better, put in your application and run for the board. Okay, just do it. Just do it, Mr. Combs.
How about getting the board members up to speed right now?
You don't have to worry about that, sir. We'll take care of it. We don't have any problems, okay? It seems that a lot of information gets out there that's not true. Okay, Carolyn Hyde from Fleetway. Oh, Carolyn, oh. Okay, let's see. Carolyn's comments is the clubhouse bathrooms. Could you please consider improving the bathroom doors at clubhouse? They are difficult for people with walkers and crutches to open. Oh, Good point, Carolyn. Vince? Okay,
I
let's.
don't know how to answer that question since the architect designed them and went through the
Yeah.
ADA. So, I mean, I believe the women's restrooms, there's nothing bolted to the floor. They're all hanging from partitions. Same thing in the men's and the new ones in here, they're all hanging from the ceiling. So there's nothing in the bottom that's, tied to the floor. So, yeah, they get doors to get in, yeah.
She needs the outside doors.
Have you watched?
The door,
She wants something that you could press, it opens the door.
oh, you want handicap something accessible? Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yes, because if you remember, when Jim was alive, I used to go and hold the door open for him to get in with the water. And when I come to the different things we have here, I watch one gentleman who's so severely to crutches. He has an awful time getting.
I'll call tomorrow or Friday and have them get in here and get some quotes. It's just a matter of putting the door closer on there and,
They can't hold a walker or they have.
no, I understand what you're saying. I thought you guys were talking about the inside stuff.
Oh,
Okay, all right,
no.
no problem.
See, Carolyn, how easy that was, huh?
Sure.
Okay.
I like to ask a question since my 3 minutes can't be over. Okay, now as far as having. Oh, I hear you. I thought my mouth was big. As far as having just 4 people on the board, I'm trying to understand now that you have other people that want to be on the board, put in their resumes. Now, they won't be able to be considered if people on the board already have field funnies about them? Is that what happens? I might be misinterpreting it, but that's the way it appears. When you were saying. Can't hear anybody.
Okay, what it's going to be is that those that have put their resumes in and applications in another couple of months, we're gonna be accepting resumes and applications again. And hopefully those that did put in will stay to run. But right now, we're gonna keep it as a 4-member board.
What's the reason behind
No, I know, this is what's making it difficult too, because we can't come to a vote because there's no tiebreaker vote. We'll figure it out. We will. Okay, Gil,
Gil was there, oh, okay.
you're next, compound.
She asked me that. 3 minutes, Bill.
Got 3 minutes.
Hello, this is Gil Lito, Unit 3. I just want to put a few rumors to bed here. The Abbey compound pays a lot of money out in donations and started in donations. I guess 60 people that donated this year, and we ended up having enough money to pay $10,000 donation towards the pavement. That's something that my committee decided that we could do that, and we paid that to Public Works supposedly. We pay mowing and electricity every year, $12.60, and that there is paid directly to PCPO, Public Works. That there goes up 10% every year. I rented a Bobcat and a machine, and people help me out to fill in. We got millions over there to fill in gravel and where the piece will get stuck in the sand. We have a lot of sugar, and we got a whole bunch of area to take care of. So we have a work party coming in on Labor Day weekend, and we're gonna do that again. So that gravel's gonna be done and rolled. So those are the future ones we got. Now we got 3 other major future. This gotta get done. I don't know if you noticed, the fence on the Grove Street has all the growth on the back of it. We need to get that taken care of. It's gonna pull the fence down if we don't do it. So then we need to work. I went to Dr. Vince, see what we can do about that. I mean, we're willing to donate money towards that for the donations. The other thing, we want to finish up the gravel. We're going to actually gravel both middle sections all the way through, get it done. And Vince, we're going to, once we get done, we're going to round up the whole area, or weed kill the area, so you won't have to mow it where we do this.
Very nice, Bill.
Okay,
Very nice.
so we're trying to keep the place looking presentable, and then the next thing we gotta finish striping and put the numbers down like we used to have.
Okay.
So that's
Whatever we can
future
do to
project.
help. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Gil, can I just ask you to clarify, you said you put $10,000 towards the paving, but did you pay the full amount?
No.
No.
Okay, it was the 10,000.
10,000 was on contribution.
Contribution, okay, very good, thank you for clarifying that for me, Gil.
Okay. And the thing is, I put out a major call out to people, and they came up with $4,000 within 3 months.
Wow.
It came right up. So we ended up, right now, we got a little bit of money left.
Thank you,
Okay,
Bill.
3 minutes is up, thank you, Gil.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's see, Patty Cummings, sorry for the delay, Patty. News and views, articles being changed when submitted, vital information omitted. I need to know why, or I need to know who is doing this and why. Go ahead, Patty.
Patty Cummings, Unit 4. Since I would like to know who's responsible for changing articles submitted to Patrona for publication in the News and Views for all the clubs in Brookridge. Every article that the Social Dance Committee has submitted since last October has been changed without any notification before it's being published in the News and Views. Critical information has been deleted. One time my name and phone number was left out. There was no way anybody could contact me about tickets. This leads to misleading information being published. Then I received numerous phone calls and complaints asking me who to call for tickets, what phone number to call for tickets, who is performing, the price of the tickets, and dates of the dances. Who has the right to decide what should be published, and why do they feel that they know what is right for each of the club's articles? I've talked to several different clubs here in Brookridge, and we're all experiencing the same treatment. Sandy Lewis's club, Ceramics, wasn't posted, it wasn't even published at all, the article that she submitted last month. I've spoken repeatedly to the past board president and to the office manager in emails and in person. I've spoken to Patrona every month about this problem, and I want an answer today as to who's doing this and why, and I want our articles published in the news as they are submitted.
I have spoken to the club people and found that the ones that roll over, and I have spoken to Patrona, the ones that roll over and they stay the same every month never change. So therefore their wording stays the same, their whatever's in there stays the same. Everyone that seems to change the wording because of different dances or whatever's going on, they are never the right thing that gets put in. So I did speak with Patrona about it. She was gonna check into it, and I did talk to Patty about it. So, and that's as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, I've talked to Patrona. Patty and I've had this discussion many times. I even sent the article 1 month to Patrona, had a long conversation with her. She says it will be correct this month. And no, it was not correct.
No, it was not. It started with the word but. Nobody starts an article with the word but. And it was just ridiculous. It made us look foolish. And the other thing is that we were told at one time, when Westbrook was still here, that we were limited to 150 words. And then I was told, no, we're limited to 150 character, and then we're told, no, that's all been rescinded, we're not limited on the words that we put in our articles. So if we're not limited, and this information is vital to our club, why is it being changed? And who is responsible? This has been going on for 10 months.
I do believe there is a limit on either words or characters, per article. That's, yeah, but it's in the, I know where to find it, I just can't, top of my head, where to go get it. I believe it's in the SOP for how you enter things in for the news and views or for the articles.
This last 2 months, it was under the 150 words, and it was still changed. Because
The only thing I can do is tomorrow I can ask Patrona what's going on and get with her, between her and Jen at the print check. Maybe it's something going on between the two files, between Patrona and print check, which ones are getting which, and now things are being contorted.
I have great respect for you, Vince, and I have great respect for Patrona. She's a wonderful person, but I personally feel that she's an employee doing what she's being told, and I don't know who is responsible for telling her to cut these articles. But I want to.
It's not me. Like I'm saying, it's not me. What I'm saying is there might be an issue between a Word file coming from Patrona and a Word file being accepted over a print check. I'll talk to her and I'll talk to Jen and see what's going on, and we'll get back to you. It's the only thing I can say. I don't like that stuff to happen. It's been happening since Anna was here. Okay, with the news and views. Okay? I don't like to have mistakes going on, because what happens is everybody gets confused. And then she catches, flack for it, we catch flack for it, and it's a no-win situation. We're just trying our best, that's all. The only thing I can say is that I'll get with Patron tomorrow, and we'll get to the bottom of it, and we'll get an answer to you.
As a men's club member, I was told that GM had the final say so.
I do not see that in the views until it gets to our office printed. I have nothing to do with it.
That was
Somebody take it.
Terry, that was before Arlene, okay, that was with Carol, okay? As far as I know, that between Arlene and Patrona, Arlene pretty much stays out of it, she lets Patrona take care of it, right? Am I right?
I would appreciate you looking into it, Vince, because as far as I'm concerned, if it keeps happening, there is absolutely no point in our dance committee even submitting an article anymore. And I'll just handle it through emails and post it on the board.
I'll
Because it's
talk
ridiculous.
to Patrona tomorrow, and we'll see,
All we're
we'll try to get the bottom of it.
is news and ads, not views.
Merit Story Unit 6.
Yeah,
Question for the board. I went through transaction by vendors. ASE, Greg Smith's company, that was working on the gates. For 2023, we paid the gentleman over $22,000. From January to March of '24, we paid him almost another $7,000. Man left us with the gates working probably and possibly even worse than they were when he came here. Is there any feasibility that you can speak to the attorney as to see as whether we can legally sue him or get some type of restitution back for this $30,000 that we gave him and has nothing for? I would appreciate that. Linda, when the attorney told you to rescind these bylaws, did he say to you they need a motion and they had to be approved by the board? The bylaws were rescinded because they're not legal. They are not registered with the county. The attorney will not register them. So those bylaws technically are non-existent.
Non-existent.
It doesn't make a difference whether you say yes for them or no for them. We cannot follow them because they are not registered with the county and they are not legal bylaws. So they automatically go to the go back, for a better choice of words, to the bylaw that was there beforehand. And Richard, I have a question for you. Everything that you went to vote on tonight appeared, as me as a spectator, that you would not vote on it unless Kathy Lane was put onto the bank accounts. Where does it say in our bylaws, rules and regulations, anyplace else, that first vice has to be on our bank accounts, and second, you're not being willing to vote on items that this board is trying to resolve based on the fact, and you stated this, Kathy Lane is not on the bank account. Please explain to me where that is in the best interest of our residents.
Okay, Mary, in order to get access to the bank accounts, do you know how that was done? How that had to be done?
Yeah, Linda works really hard on it.
Linda worked really hard on it. There was cases where she couldn't even get onto them. So I think questioning
Okay,
Linda,
so how did she finally get on? Tell me how she did.
she did what the banks requested of her and what she needed to do. And she is the treasurer, and that is her responsibility. And I think it's wrong of you to question that of her.
Well, then you're not really answering my question, because she needed this lady Catherine Lane's help in order to get access.
Why?
Did you know that?
Can you explain that, Linda? Why did you need Kathy's help?
The bank required the minutes and all board members to sign them. The only reason Richard didn't have to sign them was because he was out of town and the bank waived that. It was just to verify that the minutes were correct.
Okay, so it's the same as with
Catherine
social dance or
Lane-
anything else.
Catherine Lane was told that she would be assigned.
I never told you
Okay.
that.
Who,
She,
it doesn't,
Okay,
it's not the
well-
point. The
well,
point
that's-
is,
okay.
you're making your voting depending upon that. And that, explain to me, is how is that in the best interest of the residents? Saying I'm not going to vote unless Kathy Lane is put on the bank accounts is not in the best interest of the residents. And that's exactly what you said. And I'm gonna end it there, Richard, because we can agree to disagree. But I don't think your calls tonight, as far as voting, was at all in the best interest of our residents. Thank you.
I just want to speak to that because I don't think that keeping the monetary amounts from the other board members is within the best interest of Brookridge. And that's where I'm gonna end that. I just ended it.
No. If you wanna know, all you have to do is give me a phone call or come by.
All right, now.
They want to know one thing, Mr. Bennett. Checks require 2 signatures. If not, why?
The checks do require 2 signatures, and 2 people have been signing them.
All right, question asked and answered.
Lucille?
Okay, Lucille.
Lucille, Dwyer, Unifor. Am I the only one that did it tonight? Just getting back, I had wished, and that's when I put my hand up, when Peter came up. Because he wasn't on the agenda, I thought I could at least put my 2 cents in there.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, Lucy. Actually, it's my fault because should have been, as soon as I opened the meeting, he should have spoke on what he was doing, but then got into other stuff, so I apologize.
Well, this is why I put my hand up, because it wasn't on the agenda. Okay, very, very, very briefly. On the news and views, in this month, August, it says the limit of when somebody would get a speeding ticket, 5 miles or more. You can waive no, you can say no, but the whole thing is, at the last board meeting, he was verbalizing that, and you said, we're gonna meet tomorrow because we don't agree with that. And then nothing ever was said, and I do know that in August's news and views, it says what he stated, but it must have been put on or put in there before he spoke with you at the last board meeting.
As far as the speed limits, it's 30, but it's in news of you. Okay, oh boy.
I sent you an email, but I guess
Yeah.
you didn't read it.
You said, Lucy,
I sent you an email. It's just something that.
it looks like there's some things that need to be taken care of here, and we're gonna get back to.
Confuses people. So I just wanted you to be aware, because I did send you that email, I never got a response, so I'm bringing it up now.
Thank you, thanks, Liz. Okay, one more and then we're gonna call it quits. Oh, I'm sorry, I do.
Jerry Foster, Unit 2. When I was president in 2021, I could clear up exactly what we were told by the attorney. We had to get 4 signatures, 4 board members on the accounts of all the banks that were local. That was Brigham Bank, that was Truist Bank, that was Regions Bank, other banks. Because the attorney told us it had to be done because if one of the 2 people are incapacitated, hospitalized, or whatever, then that would give 2 people access. And that was the only reason for that, in case of an emergency. So I asked the other week myself, I went to the banks myself, Truist Bank and Brigham Bank, to find out if those procedures had changed. And they said no to me.
Thank you.
Are you talking about corporation accounts or personal accounts?
Talking about the local banks, we had CDs, like Truist Bank,
Then you said this was back in 2021?
21, they required Lee, Gail, Larry, Rosemary, being on all the CDs for them all.
Okay, Terry. Oh.
Okay. I think that what we have here,
Name and unit number.
that would be Terry Johnson, Unit 1. I think that the board needs to get together. I think, Billy, when you take the fence that's saying you're dysfunctional, is true. Dysfunctional. 2 and 2, dysfunctional. It is Millie and Linda against you 2. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be that Linda's name is on the agenda 8 times. 8 times. Nobody else's name. Yours and Linda's 8 times. The last treasurer we had, that was a problem because it was always box all the time. The treasurer takes care of the money. The treasurer takes care of that stuff. And shouldn't be involved in anything else. She's got so much to do. There's no sense working her in the ground while Kathy does nothing. Richard does nothing.
Catherine does a lot. Catherine does a lot behind the scenes, and she does. It's only a piece of paper. We know what we do. We know every day, we get phone calls every day, all of us, okay? Whether it be email, phone calls, down the office, from residents. We work every day. It doesn't have to be on a piece of paper to know what we're doing.
I think you misunderstood me. I didn't say that Kathy did nothing. I didn't mean it. I do apologize. That's not what I meant by a long shot. I am saying she gets no recognition on the agenda. And everybody should be working instead of just you and Linda.
Well, from now on, I'll make sure that who's ever working on the project, and it's a topic, their name is on it, which it was tonight. There was one with Catherine and I on there already. Linda has been working with the budget, and so there's a lot of things that she was into with the CDs and everything else. Not me, Linda.
How about the gate out? How about the computer?
This is all from down the hill.
No.
The gatehouse.
Even though I know what's going on, okay? I know hopefully I know what's going on every day. Sometimes Linda will get more phone calls than I will. Catherine will get more phone calls than I will, or possibly Richard too. Doesn't mean that, hey, listen, I just got a call from so-and-so, we know what we're doing, and I know what you're saying, okay? Communication between everybody on the board, and I understand that, okay? But we also have a difference of opinions on things too. There's things that you're gonna agree with, and there's things that you're not gonna agree with, and go ahead.
Thank you. We're all working for the same cause here. All working for the same cause. I don't know why there's so much dissension. The last board, it was just like this too, the president and treasurer. That's the way it was with the last one.
I just happened to be in the admin office when the gentleman that did the inspection from the mold guys, and he sat and talked to myself and Arlene. I just happened to be in there. So I knew what he said. He showed us the pictures and his process. The computers, I happened to be in there when Thomas was in there. So I got a computer sitting on my desk. I don't know if they got it resolved this week or not, but one day you turn the button to turn it on, it'll come on. The next day it won't. And I had no password to get into it, so what good does it do me?
Actually, we did fix that.
Did we get it fixed?
The UPS thing was not good, so that's fixed, and he actually assigned you a name and a password.
Oh, okay, good.
Maybe now that Richard's back, he can take up time in the office and give you a break.
That would be great, because I spent a lot of time working on the budget.
Okay, being that there's no more member comments, we're gonna call it a night, and I want to thank everyone for coming out. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second, and thank you very much for coming out. We appreciate you guys. Everyone have a great week.